threat of a foreign nation coming after you. The legislative suppose you get a notice of deficiency from the IRS. In that case, it is a presentment from the federal United States, so you can use the UCC to dishonor it. And you can tell the IRS that you are among the national citizenry of the continental United States, that you are a non-resident alien to the federal United States. You never lived in the federal zone nor had income from the national United States. Furthermore, you cannot be required to file or pay taxes under the compelled benefit of using the Federal Reserve notes because you have reserved your rights under the common law through UCC 1 to 308. Section 31. Original intent of the founders. The founding fathers would never have created a government to boss them around. There were 13 sovereign states. They were nations that joined together in union for protection from foreign enemies. They provided a means by which the union of sovereign states could fend off foreign and domestic enemies. But they never gave the Congress of the federal United States direct rule over any citizen of any union state. They were not going to be ordered around by the government that they set up. Section 32. Federal region, the federal zone. The Supreme Court has declared that Congress can rule what Congress creates. Congress did not make the states, but Congress did create federal regions. So Congress can lead the national regions, but Congress cannot rule the states. The UCC connection, page 31, how have we been tricked into federal regions? Section 33, the zip code trick. Remember how the government always comes to us and says, I'm from the government, and I've come to help you out. The government went into various states and said, we don't want you to go to all that trouble of writing 3 or 4 letters to abbreviate the name of your state, such as Arizona. Just write AZ instead of Arizona. Or you can just write WY for Wyoming instead of WYO, so all of the Union states have new 2-letter abbreviations. Even a state like Rhode Island has a new abbreviation, RI, instead of RI. They just left off the periods. When you use a 2-letter state abbreviation, you must use the zip code because many states start with the same letter. For example, M is Maine, MI is Michigan, and MS is Mississippi, with MA, MO, MN, MS, etc., and some sloppy writing. You could not tell one from another. So we use the zip code to tell them apart. But if you wrote Michigan or Min or Mississippi, there would be no problem telling them apart. There's no harm in using the zip code if you lawfully identify your state. I found out that no state legislature has met to legally change the abbreviation of their old abbreviation to the new one. Therefore, if you do not use the lawful abbreviation for your state, but use the latest legal shorter abbreviation, you have to use the zip code. Look on page 11 of the zip code directory, and it will tell you that the first digit of your zip code is the federal region in which you reside. If you use AZ for Arizona, you cannot use the state constitution to protect you because you did not lawfully identify your state. You use the zip code, which determines which federal region you live in. Congress may rule national regions directly, but it cannot judge the citizens of any state. How to free yourself from legal tyranny. Page 32, section 34. Accommodation party. Let's look at how the states have become the accommodation party to the national debt. Many people who I have talked to, including the governor, are very concerned about this and know that it could happen very soon. If America is declared a bankrupt nation, it will be a national emergency. FEMA will take over, and anyone who opposes the creditor's new government can be sent to a detention camp in Alaska. We will have no rights whatsoever. They have already set up prison camps with work camps nearby so the people can be used for slave labor. It could be the governors, legislators, and other leaders who would be hauled away to Alaska, while the people now disenfranchised from power would likely be chosen to run the new government. This could all happen very soon, as the national debt is so large as to be unpayable. Even the interest on the debt is virtually unpayable. As I explained, the national debt more than $3 trillion is not owed by the continental United States. It is owned by the federal United States, which was given the authority to borrow bank credit. When Congress worked for the continental United States, it could only...
I was just stating that this month, December of this year, 2025, is the month that the system of digital ID and all of that evil wickedness that the whole planet is facing right now, it was implemented in that state first, in America, in Alaska, just recently, like 2 days ago. And it's funny that this old ass, little booklet from Howard Freeman